Welcome to Grow to Glow.
Here's a question that might hit too close to home. How many times have you promised yourself you'd start that workout routine, finish that project, or finally stick to that healthy habit, only to find yourself 3 days later doing exactly what you were doing before? You watch motivational videos, you read productivity books, you download apps, you make vision boards. For a moment, you feel fired up and ready to change your life. But then Monday morning comes, and that fire just disappears. Here's the brutal truth. Motivation is not your problem. Chasing motivation is actually what's keeping you stuck in this cycle of starting and stopping, promising and failing, getting excited and then crashing. The people who actually get things done aren't more motivated than you. They've just figured out how to show up when motivation is nowhere to be found. In the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly why relying on motivation sabotages your self-discipline, and I'll give you the specific system that builds unshakable consistency, even on your worst days. Reply with fire if you've ever felt motivated to change your life on Sunday night, only to be back to your old habits by Wednesday. Let me tell you about Marcus. Every January 1st, he's full of energy. This is going to be his year. He's going to wake up at 5 a.m., hit the gym, eat clean, work on his side business, read more books. He feels unstoppable. For about 2 weeks, he's crushing it. But then life happens. A stressful day at work. His kid gets sick. He sleeps through his alarm once. And suddenly, that motivation that felt so strong just evaporates. By February, he's beating himself up, thinking he just doesn't have what it takes. Sound familiar? If this sounds like you, you're not alone. Because here's what nobody tells you about motivation. It's an emotion, not a strategy. And emotions are temporary by design. We've been sold this lie that successful people are just more motivated than everyone else. That they wake up every day excited to do hard things. But that's like thinking marathon runners are just people who love running 26 miles every single day. The truth is, motivation gets you started, but it's a terrible foundation for building lasting change. It's like trying to build a house on quicksand. It feels solid when you start, but it won't hold when the weather gets rough. What you actually need isn't more motivation. You need systems that work when motivation fails. You need to build what I call motivation independence, the ability to do what you said you'd do, regardless of how you feel about it. This is Grow to Glow, where we explore the real psychology behind lasting change, emotional intelligence, and building the inner strength to create the life you actually want. Later in this video, I'm going to share the 3-part system that completely changed how I approach goals and habits. It's not about getting more motivated, it's about making motivation irrelevant. But first, we need to understand why your brain fights you every step of the way. So why does motivation disappear right when you need it most? It comes down to how your brain is wired for survival, not success. Your brain has 2 systems. System 1, which is automatic and emotional, and System 2, which is deliberate and logical. Dr. Daniel Kahneman's research shows that System 1 is always looking for the easiest, most comfortable path. It wants to conserve energy and avoid anything that feels like work. When you're motivated, System 2 is in charge. You're thinking about your goals, imagining your future self, feeling excited about change. But motivation is metabolically expensive. Your brain can't sustain that level of conscious decision-making all day. So what happens? System 1 takes over. And System 1 doesn't care about your fitness goals or your side hustle. It just wants you to stay on the couch and scroll through your phone because that's easy and familiar. Here's the kicker. Every time you rely on motivation and then fail to follow through, you're actually training your brain that your commitments to yourself don't matter. You're programming System 1 to ignore your own promises. Dr. B.J. Fogg from Stanford's Behavior Design Lab discovered something fascinating. Behavior happens when 3 elements converge at the same moment: motivation, ability, and trigger. Most people focus on cranking up motivation, but that's the least reliable element. Think of motivation like the weather. Sometimes it's sunny, sometimes it's stormy, but you can't control it. What you can control is building systems that work in any weather. Here's an analogy that changed everything for me. Discipline isn't about having an iron will. It's about building a bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Motivation might get you to start building the bridge, but discipline is what gets you to the other side when it's raining, when you're tired, when you don't feel like taking another step. The most disciplined people I know aren't superhuman. They've just gotten really good at making the right choice the easiest choice. Coming up, 4 ways you can start shifting this, starting today. Alright, so if motivation is unreliable, how do we build real self-discipline? Here are 4 strategies that work when feelings fail. Step 1. Start ridiculously small. This goes against everything you've been taught about goal setting, but hear me out. Instead of committing to an hour at the gym, commit to putting on your workout clothes. Instead of writing for an hour, commit to writing 1 sentence. Why does this work? Because your brain's resistance is proportional to the size of the change. When the commitment is tiny, System 1 doesn't bother fighting it. Dr. B.J. Fogg calls these tiny habits, and they're powerful because they create what he calls success momentum. Every time you follow through on a tiny commitment, you're proving to yourself that you're someone who keeps promises to themselves. You might try this. Pick 1 habit you want to build and make it so small it feels almost silly not to do it. Want to read more? Commit to reading 1 page. Want to meditate? Commit to 3 deep breaths. The goal isn't the 1 page or the 3 breaths. The goal is training your brain to trust your commitments. Step 2. Design your environment. This is huge. Disciplined people don't rely on willpower. They design their environment so the right choice is the obvious choice. If you want to eat healthier, don't keep junk food in your house. If you want to work out in the morning, lay out your workout clothes the night before. If you want to read more, put your book on your pillow and your phone in another room. Environmental design works because it reduces what psychologists call decision fatigue. Every decision you make throughout the day depletes your mental energy. When you design your environment well, you're not using willpower to make good choices. You're just following the path of least resistance. You might try this. Look at 1 habit you want to build and ask, how can I make this easier to do than not do? Then change your environment to support that. Step 3. Use implementation intentions. This is one of the most powerful tools in behavioral psychology, but almost nobody talks about it. Instead of saying, I will exercise, you say, when it's 6 a.m. on weekdays, I will put on my workout clothes and go to the gym. Dr. Peter Gollwitzer's research shows that people who use implementation intentions are 2-3 times more likely to follow through on their goals. Why? Because you're programming your brain with an if-then algorithm that doesn't require motivation to activate. The format is simple. When X situation occurs, I will do Y behavior. You might try this. Take 1 habit you want to build and create an implementation intention around it. Be specific about the when, where, and what. Step 4. Track systems, not goals. This might be the most important one. Instead of tracking whether you lost weight or made money, track whether you showed up. Did you go to the gym? Did you work on your business for 30 minutes? Did you read before bed? When you track systems, you're building identity-based habits. You're not just trying to get results. You're becoming the type of person who does these things consistently. James Clear talks about this in Atomic Habits. Every action is a vote for the type of person you want to become. When you track your votes, you start to see yourself differently. You might try this. Create a simple checklist of the daily actions that align with your goals. Focus on checking the boxes, not on the outcomes. Let the results be a byproduct of the system. Before we wrap up, let's bring it all together and talk about what this really means for your life. Let's bring this home. We've talked about why chasing motivation keeps you stuck in the start-stop cycle. It's unreliable, it's temporary, and it trains your brain that your promises to yourself don't matter. The 4 strategies we covered, starting ridiculously small, designing your environment, using implementation intentions, and tracking systems, they work because they bypass the need for motivation entirely. When you start small, you eliminate resistance. When you design your environment, you make good choices automatic. When you use implementation intentions, you program your brain to act without thinking. And when you track systems, you build the identity of someone who follows through. Here's what I want you to understand. Self-discipline isn't about having superhuman willpower. It's about creating conditions where the right choice is the easy choice. The most disciplined people I know aren't constantly battling their impulses. They've built systems that make discipline feel effortless. Their morning routine happens automatically. Their healthy habits are just part of who they are. I used to think I was just not a disciplined person. I'd start strong and fade fast, over and over again. But everything changed when I stopped trying to feel motivated and started building systems that worked regardless of my feelings. Now I show up even on the days when I don't want to. Not because I'm more motivated, but because I've made showing up easier than not showing up. You don't need more motivation. You need better systems. And when you build those systems, something beautiful happens. You start to trust yourself again. You become someone who keeps promises to themselves. And that's where real confidence comes from. So here's my question for you. Which of these 4 strategies are you going to implement first? Starting ridiculously small, designing your environment, using implementation intentions, or tracking systems? Drop a comment and let me know. I want to hear what you're going to try. And if this video shifted how you think about motivation and discipline, hit that like button and share it with someone who's stuck in the motivation trap. Sometimes the best thing we can do for someone is show them there's a different way. If you want to dive deeper into building habits that actually stick, check out my video on the psychology of habit loops. Why your brain sabotages change. I'll put the link right up here. Thanks for being here, and remember, grow wiser. Glow brighter.
Like, subscribe and add alert. Grow and glow every day.